Hey everyone, my name is Remington. I am a graduate and current student at the University of the Fraser Valley. As a warning to those who stumbled upon this video hoping for a review of Coco, this review is not focused on the quality of the movie or my thoughts about how amazing it was. It is an overview of the influence of real locations on the background imagery used in the movie. The title of the project, a visual representation of locations in animated films, an overview of Coco depicts this. For those who are interested in the topic, I hope that you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. Let's get started. In animated films, graphic artists can help propel their storytelling through visual effects, including character design and background imagery. Through detail-oriented visuals, artists can create a new world in its entirety or incorporate elements of an already existing land within fictional representations to take the audience on a journey with the characters. Disney's Coco incorporates both existing locations and plays homage to the historical context in which Mexico City has developed through geographic representations of the different eras of Mexico City. This follows the eras of the Mayan and Aztec empires, the Spanish conquest, Mexican Revolution, and modern-day Mexico City. In the duration of this video, I will explore and mark the relationship between the movie in its representation of the Land of the Dead, focusing on Aztec territory and modern-day Mexico City. To help support my ideas, I will incorporate videos, photos, and literature to mark this relationship. Before diving into the more academic-based observations, let's look at the primary source that I will be analyzing. Disney's Coco was originally released in October 2017 in Mexico in time for Day of the Dead. It features a lead song, Recuérdame, or in English, Remember Me, that is played throughout the film. To avoid spoilers for those who have yet to see the movie, I will just provide a brief overview of the premise. The film follows aspiring musician Miguel, who does not wish to follow in his family's footsteps of becoming a shoemaker and living an anti-music lifestyle. Through a series of events during Day of the Dead, he finds himself transported to the Land of the Dead, where he connects with the spirits of the deceased members of his family, discovers the truth of why music is frowned upon by his family members, and ultimately strengthens the bond he shares between the past and living members of his family. As evident, this is a very family-centric movie that references Day of the Dead and Mexican culture. However, it also ties in references to placemaking, or the social spaces we occupy and share. When we first meet the character Miguel, we are also introduced to the fictional town of Santa Cecilia, Mexico. Within the carefully constructed imagery of Coco, the locations are reminiscent to that of small towns within the country through the inclusion of a Zocalo kiosco for performances, similar street designs, and similar building styles. This style is not just prevalent in smaller towns, but areas in larger cities. For example, the background locations bear resemblance to many delegations and areas within Mexico City, including the Zona Centro de Tlalpan, or in English, the center zone of Tlalpan. These pictures and their movie counterparts were taken in the center area of Tlalpan. Although interesting to reflect on the town where the character is from itself, the more intriguing aspect of the film's visual locations is when Miguel sees the Land of the Dead for the first time. It is a less subtle wink to the audience, but prominent in establishing the relationship between the movie and Mexico City during the era of the Aztec Empire, when it was Tenochtitlan to Mexico City now. Let's begin to explore this further. In this scene, Miguel looks in awe when he initially sees the Land of the Dead. As a viewer, it is visually appealing with its detailed and colored artwork. When reviewing the movie for this project, the location became more impressive. As evident, the Land of the Dead is full of buildings that are in close proximity to another. These social spaces have been designed and spread out to encompass a large area. However, the social spaces are also built on top of one another. When proceeding through the movie, there is a presence of zocolos, venues, and parks that the dead share as public spaces. It is as though the Land of the Dead is a large urban area like Mexico City. For those unaware, Mexico City is one of the most populated cities in the world. In 2016, government figures placed the population at over 8.9 million. The city continues to grow both economically and in size. There has been a redistribution of metropolitan space with subcenters emerging. This has led to the development of a metropolitan area known as the Metropolitan Zone of Mexico Valley, consisting of Mexico City, parts of Mexico State, southeast of Tlaxcala State, and southern Hidalgo State. The population of the metropolitan zone has been placed at over 21.4 million in 2016. With a large and increasing population in Mexico City and the surrounding areas, there is an increase in the social spaces being occupied as well. New buildings are being constructed in the metropolitan area, and public spaces, including Zócalos, malls, parks, and more, are shared among the population. These observations support a relationship between the Land of the Dead and modern-day Mexico City. When developing the artwork for the Land of the Dead, the artists also incorporated Aztec-inspired architecture in the outskirts of the urban area. In the movie, Miguel is amazed when looking down where he sees Aztec buildings. As they are in the outskirts of the Land of the Dead, this can be an ode to the prominent ancient city of Teotihuacan. There are no specific dates as to when the city was founded. However, researchers have dated ruins that as far back as 1050 to 950 BC and as recent as 1521 to 1680. Although Teotihuacan has long collapsed, the buildings have remained. The ruins can still be viewed, visited, and explored to see the main framework of the city. For example, you can see ball courts, housing, pyramids, temples, and much more. Although this relationship exists, the artwork can also correspond to another ancient city inside of Mexico City. When looking into the scene closer, the first floor buildings in the movie are visibly Aztec ruins. This can be a representation of the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs built their capital on top of Lake Texcoco during the 14th century across natural and artificial lands. Following the conquest, buildings and land were built directly on top of the Aztec pyramids and ancient ruins. Upon exploration and accidental findings, these pyramids and ruins can still be found below Mexico City. For example, Templo Mayor was founded in 1978 in Centro Histórico de la Ciudad de Mexico, or in English, the Historical Center of Mexico City. As these are below Mexico City, the relationship between the apparent ancient Land of the Dead in Coco and ancient city of Tenochtitlan is again supported. As mentioned previously, the graphic artist created a new world, the Land of the Dead, that was inspired by elements of an already existing world, aka Mexico City. The visuals were thoughtfully designed but did not overpower the movie. With a strong written story and talented voice acting in both English and Spanish versions of the film, the visuals in the animated feature complement and contribute to the storytelling. Throughout this video, we have looked at the relationship between the fictional locations in Coco to Mexico City. This includes the modern-day Land of the Dead to modern-day Mexico City, and the ancient Land of the Dead to ancient Mexico City. Although focusing my analysis on Mexico City, the supporting points can be utilized for other towns within Mexico. I will be exploring additional place locations in Coco to other places in and around Mexico City in follow-up videos. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.